Hello. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Other than my sinuses giving me trouble, I'm fine.
You are fine. And
The truth, you asked.
it's been a while. We we wanted to do a Mother's Day one, but we didn't get a chance to do a Mother's Day one. So, but this is just a week later,
Yeah,
and it's still sort of like a Mother's Day recording. And I am giving this theme a title, and the theme of our conversation is going to be a mother and daughter me chat. And the reason that I am calling it a me chat is because for me personally, I always for the last few years have been traditionally just thinking of me as a self-care, self-love, rest, month, just to focus my energy on just loving myself and just focus my energy on a lot of self-care activities and just taking care of myself and enjoying the colors and the beauty of spring, enjoying Mother's Day, enjoying my second favorite flower, which is lilacs. I love lilacs in May. They smell so good. And just enjoying me. And I like to wear a lot. I like to the color and the focus of May for me is always like purples and lilac and lavender colors. I don't know why. That is just what I associate the month of May with. And another thing that we're going to be doing in this chat as well is you came and visit me 2 days ago, and you
mhm.
brought me two bags
Oh,
of
stuff.
goodies. Yes, two bags of goodies, things that you made with love, made made by Annie with love.
Yeah.
And I told you that I wasn't going to use anything until we got a
Okay.
chance to do this, until we got a chance to do the unpacking together and talk about the bag of goodies that you brought for me. So the
Mm.
other thing that I'm going to share too with anybody that's watching is that we're using a streaming service, a new streaming service that we haven't used before. So we kind of like feeling our way through it and learning this software for the first time. We are using EV Mux. For the last few recordings that we've been doing, we have been using StreamYard. And I felt for me personally, StreamYard, I wasn't really satisfied with it. And I wanted to look for an alternative. And this is where my research had led me to give this app a try, give this service a try. So this is EV Mux that we're using. So bear with us as we just feel our way around and play around with it a little bit and have some fun. You ready?
I'm ready. Wait, you are
You ready?
ready?
You ready? 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 How's your month been going so far?
Oh, my mom's pretty good. Pretty good. Because finding yourself is a pretty liberating feeling.
It is it,
Find,
yeah.
yeah, finding yourself, finding your voice, and I've been doing some TikTok dances, so I've been enjoying that.
Yes.
And people have been enjoying it too. I sent out a little TikTok message to anybody that might watch my dances.
Yeah.
So, so
Yeah. I mean that and
good.
it's been really nice to see you do that, to see you let go and just put on your beautiful dresses and dance to some beautiful music. It always makes me smile,
Yeah,
and it has been fun to
it,
kind of like surprise you the first time, but not anymore. But surprise you the first time we did it with using the TikTok duet
yeah,
and doing some dances with you. I am actually looking forward to doing some more because it is fun. It really is
it,
fun.
it's
You
fun.
know,
and I did not realize how out of shape I was
Yeah.
because when I first started doing them, I was actually muscle bound. Fuck.
Yeah, it's just always like so surprising how when you move around, especially with dancing, when you move around just a little bit, it doesn't feel like a lot of moving, or it doesn't feel like
No,
you've
not
been
at
doing it for
all.
a long a long time, but just a
Exactly.
little bit, and you could feel it in your legs and you feel it in your body.
Yeah,
But I mean,
and I don't move
that,
around a lot because I am in an apartment. I'm upstairs, so I don't
yeah,
want to like bother the people downstairs. So
yeah,
I try not to move around too much.
yeah, that's totally,
It
totally understandable. I get that. You know, but I mean, dancing is so good for the soul, and that
really is.
it
It makes
really
me
just
happy.
releases some endorphins, and it just, you cannot help but to feel joy.
Yep.
You know,
And then,
when you really just letting go and just letting your body move and enjoying the music, you
yep.
know, you can't help but to feel joy. And I remember, for me, there was a couple of mornings where I felt like my body was actually telling me, because I really feel as though I'm really connected to my inner self more than I've ever been. And I could feel when my body is telling me something, which
Yeah.
is why like self-care has become, it has started to truly become a real important part of what I do for myself. Like, because my body has gotten to the point where it like craves things,
It
and it's like,
tells you.
is saying your feet feel a little dry. You need to do a soak. You know, your your face feels too dry. You need to put on, a
Yeah,
sheet mask. You need to do something. You know, and I've really been like, my body has honestly been talking to me,
paying
and
attention.
a couple of times, twice this week. One a day after the next, because the first time I didn't get a chance to do it. I was journaling, and I felt like my body was saying to me, "You should go dance. Your exercise routine today should be a dance. You should just
Yeah,
dance."
yeah,
Because I was feeling like stressed and
yeah.
pent up. I could feel like this pent up energy in my body, right? And my body was like saying, "Just go dance. Let this morning be a dance morning."
It really works.
You know
It
and
really,
the time got away from me on that day, and it literally said it to me the next day. And I actually really did. I got up and I danced, not for in front of a camera or anything like that, just me and my body just dance, and it was really what I needed. It was really, really what I needed, and it is just so good. It is so good for your body. It's good to listen to your body too. It's really, and
be-
I'm just happy to be at a point in my life where I can hear my body talk to me more. I really know what it's trying to say to me.
and
Uh,
everything, and we said this the last time, probably, I don't know, but everything has a frequency, you
mhm,
know. It's just that some frequency is higher than others.
mhm,
So, like the plant has energy, different
mhm.
things have energy, but it has a lower energy level
Yeah,
than humans or something else.
yeah,
So when your body is telling you that is your body speaking to you
yeah,
because you know,
yeah,
and when your body speaks to you, you have to listen.
yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely. So learning to do that. The battle always is the fight between the struggle between doing what your body and your soul is asking you to do, and time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're always racing against time because you want to
Yeah.
do what you're being what you feel called to do, but you also have to do what you have to do, as you will
Yeah.
probably know,
Yeah,
because
because
you
that's why the only time
yeah
I do my dancing is on Wednesdays
yeah
because that's when I'm off, and I call it a midweek, midweek party for one.
yeah
You know,
yeah
Tatiana
yeah
joined me last week for Mother's Day, for Mother's Week or whatever.
hmm
She joined me last week, but that is not a thing of hers, so she won't be like joining me all the time or whatever. But it was nice to have her last week joining me.
yeah yeah
And yeah,
I saw
it,
some of those videos. It was funny. Some of them was funny. Some of them was really funny. So yeah, I try to get this camera okay. So for I to me, I feel as though you look a little tired. So tell everybody why you looking a little tired today, just in case anybody maybe recognizing that.
why I look tired?
Mhm.
Because I work at night.
Mhm.
So my body, so although I'm off, right?
Mhm.
My body still wants to shut down at a certain time.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean, because my whole body rhythm has changed.
Yeah.
So like now I will be sleeping to get up.
Oh. Okay.
Like now I will be sleeping to get
Yeah.
up to go to
Yeah.
work tonight. So even though I'm off, I
Yeah.
basically still have to keep that same schedule so
Mhm.
that my body don't get confused.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean? Because
Right. Right.
that is like putting body into lost shock.
So your body like basically telling you what's going on. It's bedtime. Why are you still up?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like you.
So
Yeah.
so that's the reason. But just like what you said, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So
It's
for
always.
those of you that see me looking a little tired, that's the reason why my
Yeah.
body is telling me you should be sleeping. But I don't have to be sleeping because I'm not going to work tonight. But my body thinks that I should be sleeping.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Your body like what's going on? Why are you still up? So yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's
And then, then my
there's even
sinus is bothering me too. So my
yeah
eyes might look a little puffy
yeah
from that
right
as
right
well.
yeah I understand. And
Mm.
that's exactly what I'm saying. Like there's this always this struggle and this challenge between what you want to do, like what you feel called to do, but at the same time, what
I'm trying to
time
get
and
myself.
yeah, what time is telling you have to do. Like time is saying it's time to sleep, time on your body, the routine saying it's time to sleep, but you feel called to have this little chat with your daughter today, you know
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I
So
am like ignoring that right now. So y'all
yeah,
ignore me looking tired too. So
yeah,
we
yes,
want to talk
okay.
about
So let me do the unpacking
okay.
one bag at a time. And before we do this unpacking, let me tell people like a little bit about.
Embarrass me.
Uh, no, let's tell people a little bit about like how this came to be. How this, what I'm about to take out of this. How did this come to be? What's going on here? What's this all this stuff?
How it came to be?
Yeah,
It
what's all
came
this
to
stuff? What's
be.
in here? What's
It
in
came
here?
to
Uh
it
huh.
came I can't remember now, but
No,
it
not
came
specifically. Like I mean, like what we got going on here? This
that
is
that
what type of
is
stuff?
that is a lot of self-care items,
Mhm.
basically.
Mhm.
And it came to be because a certain daughter was saying, "Oh, my face feel dry. My face still dry. I
I
need to
don't mean, but that's not what I mean. I mean, how did you end up making stuff? How did you end up doing this?
well, ask that question.
You remember how I said that you are, this is
Okay,
how I
how we
practice?
managed to start
You teach
making stuff
me how to be a
is,
better interviewer. So, ask, but
but that's the fun. That's the fun of it. We gotta
hmm,
anyway.
yeah.
So how we managed to start making stuff is by knowing what the certain herbs are for, basically.
Mhm,
And then I started to experiment because I started to teach myself certain things. Because if you know what certain herbs are for, you can make anything.
mhm,
Um, so that's basically how I started, like with my facial oil and my nail oil and all those things. I just
how
look at the different herbs that are good for
yeah.
the face.
Do you
And
remember how the first item that you decided to make, like that moment when you decided that I want to learn about herbs and I want to
okay,
learn? You remember
right.
that moment?
Yeah, I remember how it all started because I actually it sort of started in Barbados,
Mhm.
right? But when I came here, I really dig into it. But it started in Barbados because
Mhm.
I had the bar in Barbados. So
Mhm.
they had this young lady that she used to like come and work for me sometimes, like
Mhm.
'cause she had a beautiful voice, everything, and
Mhm.
she was very good DJ, good at speaking, good at DJing. So she used to come sometimes and work for me. But her problem was she, um, I don't want to say that she was poor, but she was
Mhm.
less fortunate.
Mhm.
And she used to suffer with eczema really
Mhm.
bad.
Mhm.
So over the years of suffering with eczema, her skin, her legs,
Mhm.
her hands, everything
Yeah.
turned like scaly. It was scale,
Mhm.
turned
Rough.
scaly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I no, I actually think that it they passed being rough. I had never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
So one day I just decided I'm going to make, a shea butter mix for her, a
Yeah.
mixture of
Yeah.
shea butter and certain other things.
Mhm.
And she really was excited about it. She used it, and I mean, I had never really seen her with short sleeves that sort of way, or short pants or anything. And then within a few weeks after her using the stuff that I gave her, I just made it, you know me, I just make things and I give it away.
Mhm.
And she started wearing shorts and different things and
Aw.
I was
Yeah.
so amazed
Yeah.
at how it worked.
Yeah.
I just made it because I wanted her to put something because she was using a lot of the like cream and different thing from the doctor,
Mm.
but it
Yeah.
was just making her skin worse.
Yeah.
So I just wanted her to get something to moisten up the skin because I feel if you get the moisture back in the skin, it will
Mhm.
stay. And I was so amazed. She said, I love you, I love you, I love you so much, I love
I could
you.
imagine. Oh.
Because
Yeah.
that was I said so from the time I saw that I was always petrified about eczema because I suffer with eczema as well. So I've
Yeah.
learned how to control it.
Yeah.
But anyway, but that is how it all started. Then when I
And
came here,
you know, like that is confidence and then freedom. I could tell you something, like since I really started, like it has started within the last 3 months. I have started within the last it started within the last 3 months, but within the last month, I've started to say that I am in my butterfly era, which you would know because you are my number one fan of my and my
yeah,
number one watcher of my YouTube videos.
yeah,
And for some reason, I have my nose tickles. So if you see me do that, I don't know why. But you know, I've really started to really care about my clothes
yeah,
and taking care of myself and and wearing jewelry and doing things that I've never done before. And I could tell you, for me, it makes me a happier person, a
yeah,
more confident
because
person.
yeah,
Um, and confidence, I tell you, confidence is like is that is like a power. It is like
yeah,
you know how we talked about reclaiming your power. You
yeah,
know, um, co- having your power given back to you.
yeah,
Well, I feel like that has been part of my power being given back to me because I mentioned that I struggle with anxiety in my 20s and my 30s, and it's only a little bit before my 40s that I have shifted out of it, you know. And I could tell you that's like walking in a prison, you
yeah.
know.
That's
It's
what
like
it
it's
is.
like literally being
It is.
walking in a cage,
It is.
or walking with chains on. And to know the opposite of that, now to be experiencing that freedom, why I totally get wearing short sleeve and wearing short
Yeah,
pants and doing things that you didn't do before because you feel free. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
She said,
Y- y-
"Can I have some more, please? Can I have some more?" But
I
then
mean,
I had to
I
leave.
totally understand. Yeah.
You know, so it was so that for me was where it all started. So, I mean, it started long before that. Cause my grandmother used to make stuff.
Yeah,
I never knew what she
being
used to make.
prepared. We're always being prepared for our destiny, and then there's a time where it
Yeah,
all comes together. All
yeah,
the little things you've been
yeah,
learning, all the experiences, it all comes together, and you'll be like, I get it now. That makes sense why I went through all these things. That makes
yeah,
sense why I
yeah,
learned these things. That makes
yeah,
sense why all these people was put in my life.
yeah, exactly.
It all starts to come together and you get
Exactly,
it.
because she was a part of that main journey. So
Yeah,
if I have to write a book someday,
yeah,
she would definitely be in the book because that's where it really started. As I said, my gran used to make stuff and rub our skin and all and do all those things as well.
yeah,
And but I never knew what she used to make, and I was not interested. And she did that because
yeah,
I too had a problem with my skin.
yeah,
Because you know about this already. When I was 5 years old, what happened? And I got the things all over my skin from my face down to my toes. It
yeah,
itched like crazy. I
yeah,
used to have to sit down in Dettol water,
mm,
herbs,
yeah,
soaking the tubby herbs. I used to cry. I was home from school for a year. When I
mm,
went back to school and I had all these things on my skin, all the marks, because they left, maybe the things started to dry off,
yeah,
but they left marks all over.
right, yeah,
The doctors, it was to this day, think all it was allergic reaction to something. So that is why I'm very cautious.
mm.
about a lot of things. I found out recently that I can't use corn at all.
You said
You
corn?
know,
You said
corn,
corn?
corn,
Oh,
corn.
wow. How did you find that out? Like,
I think deep down inside I already knew that because every time I eat corn or like say corn on the cob or
yeah,
something, I could like the one in the can, I could eat
yeah,
a certain bit. It doesn't bother me, or even the one in the package, I can eat
yeah,
a little bit, not a lot. But
yeah,
like corn on the cob, uh, that's probably why I didn't like our national dish, which was gugu, and that was
yeah,
made from cornmeal.
yeah.
Um, so I don't know if the last couple of days you would have seen, like what I get is like dark things on my lips and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And
Yeah,
I was eating some corn, some fructose at work just to fill a hole sometimes for the last couple
mm-hmm.
of weeks. And now
Mm-hmm.
my skin get all itchy, so I was using a lot of nettle
Mm-hmm.
because nettle is an antihistamine.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like buying Benadryl or anything like that,
Yeah.
everything that we're saying here is basically for informational purposes only.
Mm-hmm.
You're not telling anybody not to use Benadryl or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but for me, I know that nettle is an antihistamine. So so I was using a lot of nettle tea, and
Mm-hmm.
I sprayed my skin. I
Mm-hmm.
sprayed my skin with nettle tea water
Yeah.
and stuff like that, using the nettle salve. So
Okay.
yeah,
So one more question too before we open take out the stuff out of the bag.
um,
Um, so how did you end up starting to do it here? When did you start
well,
doing it
yeah,
here, and how did that happen?
that's what I was gonna get into.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I came here, I don't know if it was the change of everything,
Mm-hmm.
but my skin started to affect me, like it started getting a lot of the eczema, the heats and the
Mm-hmm.
everything. And as I said, I don't know if it was the change in climate. I don't know what it
Yeah.
was. But it didn't matter what I bought to put on it. I
Mm-hmm.
bought Lubriderm. I bought different things that is like Cetaphil. I was
Yeah.
using Cetaphil, and it felt to me as though nothing really worked
You're
for
right.
my skin. So I first started making these soap, right?
Mm-hmm.
My
Yeah.
my soaps,
Yeah.
and then um, soaps and the body butters.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I started doing. So I would use the body butters, but I didn't use the. I would buy the oils
Right.
and the butters to put in the body butter, but I never had the herbs and all those things yet to infused
Right.
into.
Yeah.
If you get
So right. So how did you like start so how did you start like getting into adding in the herbs and everything? Like, well, how did that happen?
actually, I think that it was just the leading from the Most High because it's like
Mm-hmm.
every year or so he would add another layer
Mm-hmm.
to what I'm doing. Like I would just get up one morning or have a dream, have a dream during the night, and or even if it is not a dream, it's like a between sleep and wake vision.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I wanna learn this, so I wanna learn that, or I
Right,
wanna
right,
do
right.
this, or I wanna. It was
Yeah,
just it really had nothing to do with me. It was just like a progression. Like
right.
the Most High have been leading me all this way, and that is what I pray for all the time, for Him to order my steps,
Mm,
to lead me in the
yeah.
path that He would have me to go. Little did I know
Mm,
that He was leading me to be there for such a time as this, because
yeah. It's
because
an
I went
interesting
into
time to
the
be alive. It's
yeah,
very interesting time to be alive.
exactly. So I
Yeah,
went into the herbs, and then I started making the medicines, because
yeah.
the reason I started making the medicines is because I when I first came up here as well,
Yeah.
I the I remember I got really really sick. And Gray had to take me to the doctor. Doctor gave me a set of medication,
Mm,
and for some reason, then the next year I got sick again,
right.
like really sick again, because I think my body is trying to adjust to all the changes. So I got
Yeah.
really sick again, and when I went back to the doctor, it was a different doctor, but he looked at my charts and everything like that, and he gave me the same medication that
Mm,
I had the year before.
right, right, right.
Mm. And I started to think, because I started
Mm,
to say something is wrong with that picture.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So then I started learning about the herbs. I started buying the books,
yeah.
um, and I think I started buying the books from like 5 years ago
Mm,
in 2020.
yeah,
uh, More of the books and learning about the
yeah,
different herbs and what they're
yeah.
good for and what they're not good for. And that's how
Right,
one thing led to another.
right.
That's when I started making my own stuff.
I know you make so many things.
I did not even realize I used to make so many things.
You made so many things, so many wonderful things. And for anybody that may notice, look at how beautiful this lady is. Look how beautiful she is. Look how
And
healthy her hair is.
I will say to
Uh,
anybody watching that I'm over 60, but
mm.
I'm not gonna say 60 what?
Yeah, I was gonna not say it this time. But I think that that's wonderful. And you go, you could, is I've said this many times before, but you could tell, you could see that what you do, the care that you put into your skin and your hair and, everything, you could see the efforts, you could see the results of your efforts.
Thank you
So
for
that
saying
is
that.
really, really good. So let's get into the unpacking so we could talk
Yeah.
about what's in here. And
You
you don't
sure you don't
remember
have
stuff,
any
so
more
hopefully,
questions?
hopefully you're ready for me. I think I had one more question,
Because you
but I
know,
feel
you
like I
have a
kind of
lot of
lost it.
questions.
Huh?
Because you have a lot of questions.
I have, well, I good at asking questions. I good at, how it is. I good at asking questions and getting things out of people.
Let me
But
ask you one.
oh,
So,
one more thing I was gonna say to you, say it, not to
okay.
you, but say it, let everybody know is that you just did a YouTube video this morning, no, yesterday, where you shared the some of your herbal books,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I was just watching a series on TV last night. It's been out for like a couple of years on Peacock, called The End Is Nigh with Bill Nye, and he was just talking about the possible ways and scenarios in which, clim like things could affect the planet and bad things can happen. But it's not just a show that says it's not a fear based show, even though when they're showing you the parts of how bad things can happen, how it's scary and it's bad, but then it ends with optimism. It ends with all the ways in which we could prevent those things from happening. But that's not the
Okay.
important part. The
Okay.
important part is that you know so it's kind of like simulating a natural disaster, and the one I was watching was a solar um flash, that a super solar flash that would affect the grid, the electrical grid, and cause the entire world to just shut down in darkness, right? And in this episode, he talked about how at that time, books would be a commodity. It would be books would be a commodity. But in also in that, he also said, but however, people would be burning the books to keep warm, so that wasn't really a thing. But it's just the important part is how he said, the books would be a commodity, because still having some of those physical books, you know is good. It's good to have your physical books with the teachings and the
Yeah.
knowledge, and
Yeah.
hopefully humanity will get smart enough, fast enough, that we don't completely destroy ourselves and the planet and
Yeah.
whatever, and we never have to see those kind of days, to that extent. But there is a lot of knowledge that this knowledge right now are like treasures that you don't take them for granted. You know what I mean?
It's
You
true.
don't you don't take them for granted to
I'm
have
so
to
appreciative.
know how to do certain things, or to have that knowledge, right?
And honestly, I'm so appreciative because the all the um, ideas and recipes and all of that come to me in the shower,
Yeah,
come to me at work, come
yeah,
to me between sleep awake, come to me in my dreams. Like sometimes things just come to me and I get up. Because, you see them a certain way in your head.
yeah,
But sometimes when you try them, they don't
yeah.
exactly come out how you see them.
But at least you try them, right? And eventually you could possibly get it to how you see it in your head, or even better, or different. But at least you try. That's the part, because I was
Yeah,
thinking about that too, and I was thinking, I am such an idea person. I have so many original, unique ideas. That's why I like to do my channel, and I would love to see my channel become whatever it's supposed to become,
it
because I
will.
really do think that if you allow me to grow and to
It
really
will.
let me loose in the world with my ideas, I could introduce some real interesting ideas into the world,
Yeah,
and
it will.
ideas, ideas is only an idea. You remember we talked about this the last time, or one of the times where we talk about Prince and Michael Jackson, right? And that idea,
Yeah,
and how Prince was like, I getting up in the middle in the morning and I doing this thing, because
exactly.
if I don't, Michael Jackson can get it,
Yeah,
and that's that thought process stood out with me, because an idea is that same thing you talked about, is a frequency, is an energy, you know it's
yeah,
like it's an energy that they're just floating around, and it's like, okay, let me try this person. Okay, do you want this idea? And it's
if
either
you
you
don't
say,
take
okay,
it,
yes, yeah,
somebody else will get it.
it's either you say, yes, I want this idea, yes, I'm gonna try this thing, yes, I'm gonna experiment with it, and I'm gonna let it, like, try it, and see where it takes me, even if it takes you into failure, or different, or something better, to go for it. you know that's
Yeah,
what idea needs. Idea needs courage.
yeah,
Idea needs um somebody brave enough to not care if they fail, or if it's embarrassing, or if whatever the things that they have, whatever the worries and concerns they have, to ignore those things and just go for it, just try it, you
Yeah, and
know.
I'm so
So
glad that we, like me, I was given the opportunity to work for a couple of extra hours and stuff like that at work because that's the money that I took. Then I invested in my, I didn't buy clothes, I didn't buy anything like that.
mm,
Invested in my business, so to speak. It's not really a business fully yet,
yeah,
but um,
it's the
but
foundation of one.
invested. Huh?
It's the foundation of one. You
Exactly.
know, you
So,
know,
so
yeah,
I, and I, that's the money that I would, any extra money I get, that's what I would buy my containers, my bottles, my all my different herbs and everything you see behind there. And then I just, as they go, I just replace them each time,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So so it has been, I enjoy that journey. I when I look back at it too, I am really impressed. I don't know if
yeah,
impressed is the word, but I am really, yeah, shocked and impressed because I never thought that here is where I would be. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I
yeah,
never thought that here is where it would be. But here is obviously where the Most High wanted me to be
yeah,
because with the world going the way how it is,
mm,
when mainstream um, hospitals, the doctors, and stuff like that can't be found,
yeah.
they're gonna go back to the basics.
Well, I hope it's not when. I hope it's like if, not
Yeah,
when. You know,
yeah,
I hope it's
because
if. You
well,
know,
but whether it's if, when, whatever.
but
But
my yeah,
there's a
yeah,
place for people like us. That's what I'm telling.
yeah. But my wish, my hope is that we have choice. If that as many not as many people have to be in the hospital, you know what I mean, because a lot of people will learn how to take care of themselves in natural ways so that they don't have to be in the hospital. I still
That's
hope
why
that
here.
there's a place where there's hospitals available to who really really need them, but I do hope that a lot less people need them. I know that the pharmaceutical industry want people, more as many people as possible to need them, you know. But I hope that we come to
Because
a place.
they're not they
Mhm.
control the
Yeah,
thing, but unfortunately not heal
yeah,
it. So
yeah.
because if they heal it, then they will have a
Right.
lifetime
Hold
supplier.
on one second.
So
It kind of remind me of, like, how back in the day you could have a boombox that lasts you 20 years, and now you can only have there's a certain shelf life on the things that you buy now. You know what I
and they
mean?
spoil
Like you
even.
could have certain things that will last. Back in the day, they used to make things to last, and now they make
Yeah,
things to have a certain shelf life, and then you gotta
yeah,
buy a new one like within 5 years or something.
yeah,
So it's kind of like that same concept with people's health. They want you to
exactly,
keep coming back, so they just how to say, put on a band-aid. And
exactly.
not really deal with the initial issue, the initial
But
healing, the inner healing of your body, you
but
know, and
I'm
prevention.
mhm. Yeah, but I'm so glad that so many people are waking up to this whole thing, and that's why I don't know a lot of I don't know a lot like a lot of other people, but I teach myself.
Hmm.
Well, not really teach myself, but I learn by the books and different things like that, and I share
Hmm.
what I learn.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
as I said, I'm not an expert like some of these other people that have been doing it for like 20
Yeah.
years and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. But I still share the little that I learned.
Yeah.
That,
We
because
are
I do
learning.
believe
Yeah.
that, I do believe, as you said, that people need, especially like how your family is a big family.
Hmm.
As
Yeah.
having like a big
Yeah.
family,
It's costly. Yeah.
they should know how to they should know how to make certain things, and
Yeah.
so that you don't have to be running in the store each time to buy everything, because to buy it for 5 children, you know.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. It is
So
so true.
anyway,
And it makes me sad too as a parent, because a parent of five, because there's things that I want to give my children the best. And when I
exactly.
say the best, I talk about in health, in their health.
Yeah,
I want to have healthy teeth, healthy hair, healthy skin, healthy everything. And I want them to have what they need for that. And I find it to be very frustrating that I have to buy the cheapest thing or have to not buy certain things because I
exactly.
really can't afford it, because it is like 5 children that you got to provide it for, you know.
Exactly.
So that has been a frustration for me. So I totally understand, and that's kind of too why I appreciate what you do,
Oh my,
and
I forget
and
we still gonna do the unbox.
unpacking. Yeah, so let me do this before we run. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay, so the first thing you got here is, oh my gosh, it smells so good. Is a little soap. You told me that this is a face soap. Let me see
Yeah,
where the
and
camera
that
is.
is,
Where's that camera?
yeah, I can see it.
Oh, it smells so good. It smells like powder.
Really?
What is it?
I
You
can't remember.
remember?
I can't remember what scent I put in it, but
They don't have a label.
I
But
know
you
I
told me it
just
was
put
for
it
the
in the box.
face. Mm?
But it is,
Oh, I could just keep that out. What does
yeah,
that
it
smell
is.
like?
It has
Oh, it smells
sandalwood,
so good.
and goat milk, and I
Right.
think
Is that
the,
sandalwood? Oh, mommy, that smells so good. Oh,
yes, sandalwood smells good. So it has the
yeah.
sandalwood oil and the sandalwood powder.
And you said that this is for to wash your face.
Face soap, yes, sandalwood
Face soap.
is very good for your face,
Yeah.
for the pimples and hypopigmentation if you get in
Yeah.
like marks and
Yeah.
stuff like that. The sandalwood is very good. Actually, sandalwood soap is what I use on my face.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. And I asked you if you had
come
another
on,
one so
man.
that I could get one for my daughter because she's having issues with acne right now.
Yeah,
So
I can make some stuff for her,
it
but
smells really good. So why would you recommend that a person wash their face with something separate than what they would wash their skin with? Do you? Why is that a
because
hygienic thing to do?
well, to me, is a hygienic thing to do, and also the soaps that we bathe our skin with a lot of the times are mass produced,
Mhm.
and they, how to put it, they're mass produced, so they're not
They're harsher.
they're not gonna be
Yeah.
effective for your face,
Yeah.
because you want something separate for your face, because when you use the sandalwood on your face, you know that you get in those properties. But when you use the soap that you bathe with. A lot of times because they're mass produced, they have a lot of different chemicals that you
Yeah,
don't
and it's
necessarily,
probably just basic stuff for just your skin, really. But
yeah,
your
you don't
face,
really want
yeah,
all those things
yeah,
on your face because then your face could get all dry and cracky
yeah.
and
One
everything
of
else.
my biggest questions I've always wanted to know is why is your face so much more special than the rest of your body? Like why is your face so needy? why why does it need something different? Why is it why does it need different kind of care? Do you know?
Because too, that's the place that people see first.
Mm,
Your body, your body has the clothes, and that's the place that people see first, and that's the place that gets the most sun and all that. You get the wrinkles.
mm,
You will find that when women are wrinkling, they look old in their hands and their neck.
mm,
Those
mm,
are the first two places to
mm.
really take. So when
Start
you
to
washing your
sag and yeah.
yeah, when you washing your face too, when
Mm,
you washing your face, you wash your face and you come all down your neck and all
mm,
like
mm.
here, your shoulder blades,
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
same soap that
yeah.
you doing with, even when you put in the cream or the oils or whatever,
Mm.
you don't just put it on your face, you put
You
it
know,
all
yeah. All
over,
your neck,
all your
yeah,
neck and everything,
yeah.
because as I say, the first places that gets old
Mm.
is your hands and your neck.
Yeah, and also for me too, like I've always noticed that I don't feel comfortable. Like I my face will hollow so badly if I try to wash it with the soap it with regular soap that I use for the rest of my body. You feel the difference. You
But that's what
feel,
you see, that's what
you
I'm telling
know,
you.
you feel that your face is not happy.
Yeah,
This doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel clean. It doesn't feel washed. Like there's something different. Your face is
because as
special.
I said,
Yeah.
they mass produce,
Mm,
so they can use like the basic things, the cheapest things,
yeah.
because it's just to wash the dirt off of your, so you don't
Right.
really want that on
Yeah.
your
Well,
face, all those
you know,
chemicals.
my face I've been feeling very good lately because I've been taking good care of it,
Well, that's
and
good.
it notices. All right. So this here says this is and on the label, which oh my gosh, I'm not getting this camera right. So you're not gonna be able to see it. So don't try. But on the label, it says Sweet Annie's skincare body oil, and it says hibiscus, rose, carrot, aloe vera, rose. You got rose twice. Ours, yeah, you got rose twice. Orange.
Rose or
Col-
rose hips? And rose?
no, I just got rose twice.
Oh, okay.
Orange. Calendula.
Calendula.
Correct me. Calendula. Almond, rice bran oils, essential oils, fragrance oil. Wow, that sounds so good. Anyway, so this is body oil. All right, so you just use it just to rub all over your skin, all over your
Yeah,
body.
is so
Oh my gosh, and it look good.
we don't have anything for the top layer, but the body oil goes good like when you come out of the shower. If you want to
Mm,
have soft, supple skin, you just
mm,
come out of the shower where your body is still warm and the pores are still open.
mm,
you dab your skin dry, not
mm,
wipe it like this,
mm,
but you
mm,
dab your skin dry and you rub the body oil on your body. You will see how soft and smooth your body will become, because what you could do is after you put the oil, if you have a
yeah.
cream, even if it is just a cheap cream, and you put a cream a water-based cream then to
Mm-hmm.
lock in that moisture, to lock in the
Wow.
oil.
Wow. And I love soft skin. I am not a rough one. I love to feel moisture. I love to feel my skin feeling soft and I
Exactly.
just I love soft skin. So, and it has you got little rose petals inside or
Yeah, I put rose petal. That's rose petals I
I'm
put
struggling to
because
find the right angle for the camera. There it is. Rose
you can
petals on
take
the
it so
inside.
that you can see the rose petals. Um, yeah, so
Wow,
it
look at
has
that.
the rose petals
Where is
in it.
this camera?
It's right
There it
there.
is.
You were right. You good, good.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And so yeah, wow, beautiful. It is beautiful and it feels lovely. And
It
then
feels
this
good.
says,
It feels
yes,
good.
it feels really good. And this
Yeah.
says, so it has on the top the label Sweet Annie's Naturals hair growth oil. Feel the moisture. Ingredients: hair blend of 15 herbs and oils, and essential oil. So, oh gosh, camera, where are you?
Yeah, that hair oil, people, the anybody that I've given that to or whatever, they love that hair oil because it really
Mm,
grows your hair. I
mm.
mean, it really grows your hair. You look at my
Look at
hair
your
now, but
hair. Your hair looks so nice.
if
Yeah.
you look at my hair now, right?
Mm.
This is shrinkage. Look at the length of my hair.
Wow. Look at that.
But but
Wow.
the thing about
And
it,
your hair is natural, right?
yeah, my hair natural. And Tatiana, she cut off probably 2 inches because she said that day. But
Yeah.
that's the shrinkage.
Yeah.
And it's
So,
done
okay.
by my bra. It's done by my bra strap.
Okay, so question.
Mhm.
So first of all, how do you use this? Like, how you use this in your hair? Like, you will put it on the scalp. I'm trying to find the camera. You will put it
Yeah,
on the
no,
scalp.
no, the camera's good. You're good there.
I know,
Um,
but I keep like when I go this way, I go in this way, and like turning the other way, so it confusing me.
no,
Sorry. Oh, okay. There, wait, there.
no, no.
Wait, it disorienting me. All right. So how do you use it?
Yeah. So what I normally do with mine is when I wash my hair, I just put a little bit to the scalp. But what I would normally do when I'm twisting my hair or whatever, I do three different things. You could do like the lock method, and the lock method is leave in.
Mm,
That's what the L,
mm,
and the O
mm,
is
mm,
for the oil,
mm,
and then the cream, right?
mm.
So
Wow.
the leave-in that I would make a tea. I would
Yeah.
whatever kind of tea I want to make. If
Yeah.
I would probably make a rosemary tea or
Yeah.
horsetail tea or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
put that tea in a spray bottle, and
Mm.
you could spray your hair with it because when you twist your hair,
Wow. Yeah.
when you twist your hair, it's best not to have it dry.
Yeah.
So, by the time you get to you on this side, by the time you get to that side, the other side dry. So
Mm.
you always have to have a spray bottle to spray.
Mm-hmm. Keep spraying it.
So that could go as the leave-in, but
Right.
there are some kind of leave-in that you could put on it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And then the oil, then I put a layer oil on the
Mm-hmm.
strand,
Yeah.
and then you put the twisting cream, and then you just twist it.
Yeah. So I can just like tell the people that are watching, thank you for watching. And I just would like to say that if you like our vibes, our energy, just remember to subscribe and share and like and comment. And this is not something that I usually remember to do, to say this in between my videos, but I suspect that this video might be a lengthy one. So I'm going to do it in chapters, and I hope that you enjoy it and maybe watch it in stages if you can't watch all at once.
Yeah.
Because we're talking good stuff. We're talking about self-care, we're talking about self-love, we're talking about we're learning about my mom's naturals that she makes, and you could find out more about that on her channel. You could find out, she shares how she made some of the stuff, and she shares a lot of good stuff on what's your channel, Mom?
Sweet Annie's Naturals.
Sweet
Sweet
Annie's
Annie's
Naturals.
Naturals.
Sweet Annie's Naturals, and she also has two other channels that she's working on building up. Their newer channels, Sweet Annie's Kitchen and Sweet Annie's Faith,
Yeah.
because my mom is a woman of faith and she likes to share her perspective on her spiritual growth and her spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And the kitchen's good stuff. Right now you're putting on older videos that you have made, older kitchen videos, because
Yeah.
what you're trying to do is to separate your naturals, your beauty
Naturals.
stuff. You
Because,
try to separate the three things that you used to put
yeah.
on all on one channel. You're trying to
Yeah.
separate your faith conversations and your kitchen stuff from your natural stuff.
Yeah. Because
I
you see,
hope that you
when
find this funny.
people,
I'm struggling with the camera.
yeah, because when people subscribe to a
Hmm.
channel and it has all those different things on it, you don't
Hmm.
really know what they're subscribing to.
Hmm.
You don't know if they're subscribing to the food or
Hmm.
if they're subscribing to the natural stuff
Hmm.
or the faith stuff. So the best way, I am most sorry that I didn't do it from the beginning, but
We
I was
learning.
still
We
feeling.
learning. We're learning. We figured it out.
Exactly. That's what I
You
was
know,
just saying. I was still feeling my way through.
exactly.
But something
So.
else I wanted to say to
Hmm.
anybody watching, don't forget to press the notification bell, because when you press the notification bell, you would know every time we post
Yeah.
a new video.
And so one of the things that I want my viewers to know, I'm a new YouTuber. My mom's a more veteran YouTuber than me, but I'm a new YouTuber. What I want my peoples to know, my community that people that come back, is that yes, I am kind of the kind of creator that I love things that I love us in our authenticity. I'm struggling with the word authenticity. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
In mommy,
uh,
help me. Authenticity. Well, you know what I'm
yeah,
trying to
you
say.
got it.
Me personally, I like the little quirks. I like the little silliness and not necessary, the little thing
Looking so
imperfections.
perfect.
So when I edit, I do not I lightly edit. I don't like edit heavily. And so that's why I'm going to practice putting my things in chapters, because I know that time is precious and valuable to people. And I
Yeah,
know that even if
attention
you might
span.
like my vibes or our vibes, you might not got the time to watch
Yeah,
a whole hour or two of footage,
yeah,
so I'm going to practice doing chapters to make it easier on my viewers, that you can always, it takes time to do chapters, but you can
yeah.
always go down in the video and click
Click
on
on,
something that
yeah,
catches your interest, you know
yeah,
catch your interest, because I feel like even if we might be long communicators, and for me, like I said, I don't heavily edit. I like the all the little silliness, and I always think too that there's something for everybody. So there might be some
yeah,
people that want to get to the meat of the matter, and there might be some
yeah,
people that don't mind listening for 2 hours of people just naturally having
yep,
a conversation and enjoying each other's company. So there's something for everybody. So I just wanted to let everybody know that that is the vibes here, and you
and
could
and
all in
and,
this
and
video.
my
Yeah,
channel, my channel as well.
yeah,
Um, I am not a fast talker, so um, so that is my channel as well.
yeah. So there's gonna be
I don't
chapters.
play. Yeah, I I I see people could come on and cook something in 4 minutes and three
Yeah,
minutes, and
I'm not a
I
fast
was
talker
wondering,
either. You know,
huh?
I feel like the more I talk, the more something that I didn't expect to come out comes out. You know,
It's true.
and if I try to shut myself up, then I might miss out on that really brilliant idea that was supposed to come out.
And
You
I
know,
like I like telling. My thing about it is that I like telling stories. I don't only want to come on like when I would make my stuff. I would come on and I would give a little light story about why I'm making it because of whatever from back
mm,
home. You know what I mean?
mm,
And 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 I like to do that. That's why I want my channels to be channels with a difference. I
yeah,
don't want to be
yeah.
just like everybody else.
Yeah, so I don't mind building my community slowly if I find the right people, the right audience.
Exactly.
My personally, I looking for the kind of audience that don't mind slowing down, smelling the roses, and
Exactly.
taking time to really spend with us, with our
Exactly.
energy and building a community together and doing some wonderful things together. Because I personally think that if you push past what you want us to be, you might discover some really
Exactly.
interesting things that you would miss because you're a busybody just trying to be like going from one video to the next and like what I mean.
Yeah,
So
because it's the day of TikTok, so
yeah, yeah.
everybody's attention span is short when it
And
was just
that's
YouTube.
another thing too. I hope to be able to help expand the or increase, or whatever the right way to say that, attention span of the people who join my
Yeah.
circle of my online community, that I do not mind building slowly.
Yeah,
Okay, so
you want them to say to themselves, well, you know, Letitia's video is here, but I gotta be sitting down somewhere before I click
exactly,
on.
and there are some creators, some videos that I know that I cannot watch this while I washing the dishes or while I doing a thing. I have to
Exactly.
actually make the time, to
Exactly.
watch. Now one of the coolest things about YouTube is the video is not going anywhere.
It's true.
So you can
It's
always
true.
come when you can. You
It's
can
true.
always come when you can. So let's get back to our little chat. And before we move on from the hair, camera, before we move on from the hair oil, I want to ask you a question. Tell me about before you started to wear your hair natural. How did you used to do your hair, and what made you decide to go natural? And how you feel about it now that you've moved away from how you used to do your hair to
You
being
know,
natural for such a long time?
that is such a good question because I sat down on the bed today and saying that I wish somebody would ask me that question because so it's just you see everything is energy
I tell you.
um because I used to wear my hair relaxed
Mm,
and I I like it relaxed because you had it like that all your life basically. I cut my hair when I was 21 for
mm,
a little while. I let it grow. I cut off all, let it grow back, and
mm,
then I relaxed it again. But all in all, I probably had my hair relaxed probably over 30 years.
mm,
So I never knew or never remember what my real hair was like.
mm.
because it take. But why I said that is a brilliant question is because I sat down thinking that when my hair was relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
I started making the hair stuff. I started making the hair butter because
Mm-hmm.
that's what I started. I started making the hair butter and all those things. And I said, and Tatiana had cut her hair. She did the big job. So
Mm.
I was making those things for her for a
Right.
year before I decided to take.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, but how can you be making stuff for
Mm-hmm.
natural hair and your
Mm-hmm.
hair is relaxed? And not
Yeah.
only that, but I live in a place in the USA where you can't find a hairdresser that
Mm.
could deal with this kind of hair.
Yeah, I understand.
So it was difficult anyway. So
Right.
so I decided, okay, one day I got up and I decided what I do is more important to me than hair. So I did the big job.
Mm.
And my ex-husband at the time he was not happy because he left me with hair.
Yeah.
I went to work and come back and find me with no hair.
Right.
So he
Mm.
wasn't he wasn't very happy. But
Right.
but I was happy because
Yeah.
I even started singing that song to him. I am not my hair.
Yeah.
But um but one experience that I would love to tell the people when I cut that relaxed hair off my head,
Mm.
there was such a liberating feeling.
I could
I can't
imagine.
even explain it. I felt as though the Most High
You
said
could
to me,
breathe.
I felt as though I can
You
now,
release
I can,
something.
yeah, I
Yeah.
can now see the person that you were designed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You
I can't
release.
explain it. I
No,
really
no, I know. You release, you let go of that woman
will
from
hear.
that past. It's like the same thing that I constantly been talking about
Let
lately
me
about
have
shedding the skin,
this.
you know? So you were shedding the skin of all the experience and all the everything that came with that old person, that person from then,
And
you know?
I can't even begin to explain to anybody how
Yeah,
that felt. I had like this much hair,
yeah.
and Tatiana had to take it and curl it with her fingers
Yeah.
because I couldn't. It was just so short. I just took off
And it's so worth it
everything.
because your hair is just beautiful. And
Yes,
you look, I could tell
thank
you,
you.
you
I
look
did
like
not.
somebody that's been liberated,
That
you
what?
know?
I
I
didn't hear
say
you.
you look like somebody that has been liberated, that's free, you know? And I
Yeah,
tell you, yeah,
it was like such. I sat down on the bed. I sat down on the bed saying
yeah,
that I wish somebody would ask me that question because I would love to tell that story to somebody how I felt
yeah.
when I cut off all that dead hair off of my
Mm,
head.
mm.
I only had those strings of relax, but it was I felt like like the Heavenly Father said to me, now I can see you,
And
you
true.
know.
And then after that process, you started to things that didn't belong in your life started to shed from your life. And we know when you say ex-husband, we know what some of them things are, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
people and things and what didn't
because
belong,
because a
what
lot of
fell
the
off
times,
of your life, you
yep,
know?
because a lot of the times people want you for the wrong reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and not that I'm going to get into that or anything, but
Mm,
what I wanted to say is I was glad that I did what I did because from the time I did that, it
mm,
was as though the Most High said, "Now I can give you what I have for
mm.
you." And that is
And do
when
you,
I read
yeah,
my full
yeah.
herbalism
And
journey.
do you feel that he did? Or, did you
Now,
receive, did you feel like you received what is for you? Do you feel like you received what was for you? You know?
um, you mean now? If I
Yes.
if I
Throughout the process. Obviously everything didn't come out at once, but
oh yeah, because I feel so. I honestly don't feel if I didn't cut my hair and I didn't cut off all of my hair, all
mm,
of that relaxed hair, I don't think that I would be where I am today.
mm,
And I honestly believe that because I it was almost as if he says no.
mm.
Now you could do what I have you to do.
No, you
Now I'm gonna give you
you
more.
know moving into your dreams because
Yeah,
you
now
shedded
I
it,
can give you more.
what has needed to be cleared away has been cleared
Now I
away.
can let you exactly. Now I
Yeah,
can let you know. Now I can let you know what you were placed here for.
yeah,
Because you every time I want to give you, you go in a different direction because
yeah,
you follow other people. You follow
yeah,
other people's dreams. You follow other people's visions. You follow other people. But
yeah.
now that
I love
now,
this. Yeah.
huh?
I have to say that out of all the goodies that you ever bought for me, this is the best batch. Oh my gosh. Can't wait to use everything. All right, so on the whole note here, we got leave-in conditioner, and inside of it, it has rosemary, cloves, fenugreek, fenugreek,
Fenugreek, yeah.
hibiscus, rose tea, hibiscus, rose tea. What was the part? Or does and hibiscus and rose tea?
Yeah.
Oh, glycerine, mango butter, hair oil blend,
Citric
cetiaryl
alcohol, yeah,
alcohol. Help me out. Huh?
yeah.
Say the word for me.
Citric,
Cetiaryl
citric alcohol,
alcohol, emulsifier, and preservative.
and emulsifier.
Emulsifier,
Or the
emulsifier.
emulsifier, I don't know if you know about the emulsifier, because
Mm,
oil and water doesn't mix. So
mm.
what the emulsifier does is
Wow.
helps the oil and water to mix.
Oh my
Because oil
gosh.
and water don't mix.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will see all the oils floating to the top if you don't use the emulsifier.
Wow. I didn't even
And
know that.
what the cetyl alcohol would do,
Mm,
it helps to thicken the whatever cream or whatever it is you're doing. It helps to thicken it, and then it also gives it a smooth texture. And
and yeah.
what happens with the preservative is that water, anything that has a water has life,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So, and life, water grows bacteria.
Oh, dang. And essential oils also. My gosh,
Yeah,
mom, you know your stuff. You know your stuff. Wow. So I just learned something new. I didn't know what emulsifier was. I didn't know what citral alcohol was. I just learned a whole bunch of new stuff.
And
And
it
I
was
hope that y'all
relative.
find it funny, me trying to find the angle of the camera. It's just that it's very disorienting because I will go one way and in the image it goes a different way. So it try it's hilarious. I can't get my head around it. So this is what the container looks like. Let's see. And you're not a good view, but nope, that just looked like white stuff. But woo,
It's a
nice
cream.
texture. Okay, so it got this kind of like whipped texture, like thick whipped, like
Yeah,
how you would
because
get the
what
whipped
that's
cream
what the
cheese. Yeah,
that's what the between the ceteral alcohol and the
yeah.
emulsifier, that's what they do. That
The
is what
texture
helps
is
to
so
thicken
nice,
it.
and it smells so good. I'm so proud of you, mommy. Oh my gosh. You know your stuff, and you
Thank
have gotten
you.
so much better since you started. And my camera ain't doing it justice, but
But that's
I'm
okay.
so proud of you. So I can let everybody know, the business hasn't officially started yet, but feel free to send a comment or whatever if you're interested, because she's trying to get away. She's trying to start her thing. She's trying to get into independent, you know,
And,
independence,
and
you
trust
know,
me,
and
and trust
freedom from
me,
working for the
we gonna
man
be working on
and
a
doing,
website shortly too. Cause
yep,
anyway,
because you are a natural healer, you're very good at it. You know, I know a
Tammy
lot of
haven't
people that
told
will
me
come
this one.
online expect people that come online, they want fast talkers. So, but you are a slower speaker, which is good. I think that's a good quality to have because some people are meant to be soothing voices that other people listen to. So you just gotta find your audience, the people that love soothing voices,
Yeah.
but you have a lot to teach. And I hope that you confidence building because everything smell good and look good. So the next thing I have here is a bottle of nail cuticle oil, and my mom just recently did a video on this one. It has that lovely oily texture just like all the other oils, and she did it for her cuticles.
And
Tell people why.
that is going to be is not going to be as heavy as the hair oil.
Yeah,
And if you see, it is a light oil.
yeah.
It is not as
Wow.
heavy as the hair
Yeah,
oil or anything because I use light oil for that.
yeah.
And what I did, I I said your hair and your nails
Mm-hmm.
basically are made from the same chemi I don't know, from the same
Ingredients.
whatever.
Ingredients.
Yeah,
Oh, not ingredients. Uh,
I know.
I we talking about products, so I think ingredients, but no, we talking about nails and hair. So the
I
same.
know. But they're made out of
Yeah.
the same thing.
Hmm.
So so if they're made out of the same thing and they are and garlic and stuff like that is good for
I could smell the
sleeping.
garlic.
You can smell it
Yeah.
slightly
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
so yeah. So you
because
just did a video on that. Yeah.
a lot of people don't put garlic in theirs,
Yeah.
but I put garlic in mine because garlic is good for the hair and stuff like that. So I had two base oils,
Hmm.
only two base oils, and then the rest were essential oils. And I put like lavender
Hmm.
essential oil, and I
Hmm.
think I can't remember if I put rosemary or whatever I put,
Hmm.
and I put rose,
Hmm.
and I also put some frankincense. Frankincense is very good for your nails and stuff like that as well. Like
Hmm.
frankincense, like with the baby Jesus, right?
Hmm.
So So the horsetail is rich in silica.
Mm,
So if it's rich in silica, it's good for the hair strands, and it would be good for the nails to help strengthen the nails and things. Because
mm.
what we need in our body is silica.
Wow.
Mhm.
So yeah, this bottle doesn't have the ingredients because I'm pretty sure it wasn't something that you. It was
No,
something you just whipped up. Yeah.
yeah, I just,
Yeah. And the
I
only reason that I'm getting this is because I said I watched your video on YouTube and I was like, I want one.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yep.
Yeah. Because you have
And I don't
mainly
have,
just made it for
and
yourself, really.
the
Yeah.
reason I made it too is because my nails got really, I had my nails done for my birthday and all that. And, those things really damage your nails.
Yeah.
So my nails were really, really, really soft. And because of age too, you get these ridges on your nails.
Mm. Mm.
So I'm trying to use stuff that will probably help take away the ridges, and because
Yeah.
there's obviously something in our
Yeah.
system that we're lacking as
Yeah.
older people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Yeah.
And
So
then the facial oil.
yeah. Yeah. Don't rush me. What, you ready to go? Your body saying I need to go and
No,
sleep.
no, I don't
Oh,
ready to go. This is a good,
I am having fun. And I don't mind taking our time and talking about it. So
yeah,
I can
this
remind
is
you
a
all
good,
again. I
cause
know that time is precious. We can
yeah,
have chapters, so you can always come back and watch it in
exactly.
pieces. I also like to divide my videos in shorts, so I would try to put some shorts up too. But this is a
Yeah,
good conversation, and there's a lot to learn. And
and I
I'm
and I
struggling to
and I
find the
want to
angle.
see, and I want to see the laughter and
Yeah,
because people
be smiling.
like when me and Tatiana did the thing, you get a lot of nice comments because people love
A smile is priceless, in my
that
opinion.
you did
A
love
natural
to see.
smile.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I know a lot of people smiling a lot less these days. I could tell you, I with you because I spend the morning not smiling for probably the same reasons that a lot of people aren't smiling, taking on the energy and the ugliness.
yeah,
There's some days that is as much as you try to ignore it, it hard.
yeah.
I'm on my computer trying to edit videos and do things, and all I see is these ugly faces on my computer with ugly hearts. Oh,
Just
you know,
popping up all the time.
popping up and with ugly headlines and ugly hearts and ugly
Yeah,
faces and terrible
yeah.
people. And I feel it. I feel it. And some
And
days it's
and
harder than others to ignore. You
and I
know.
was I was watching I was watching not even watching. I was in the kitchen doing something, and sometimes I watch this lady, her podcast, Sabi Sabs or something,
Mm,
and she was doing a segment on the people that come over from South Africa. And they had this man. I don't even know what his face was like
mm,
or anything like that. 'Cause I didn't even look at it. I just stopped
mm,
it. I just stopped it because,
mm,
like, when he started to talk, whoever it
mm,
was, he says he's the deputy secretary of something. And when
mm,
he started to talk, this is what I hear in my head. And this
mm,
used to be a song in
mm,
Barbados.
mm,
Lie,
mm.
that is lie. You remember? I don't know if you remember that
I
song.
don't remember that one, but so funny.
Yeah, and all I was saying,
Yeah, you know,
all I was hearing is,
yeah.
I mean, he sounded so fake. It was
Mm,
unbelievable. So because she was doing that segment, when she does other things, sometimes I watch, but because she was doing that segment and everything
mm,
sounded
mm.
so fake, I didn't even watch that episode.
Yeah, I was watching. a TV show last night. I just watch rarely, but I watch every once in a while, on the Paramount app because yeah, we have Paramount. It come with it come as a free gift with another thing that we paying for, another subscription we paying for, like,
Mhm.
so I watch the show every once in a while, and the ad came up, and from the time I see this ad, I know what was happening. It came up talking about all these criminals, right? Portraying people as criminals, bald head Latino men with tattoos as criminals, and I knew instantly. I knew what was coming. I knew what kind of ad I was watching. I was like, this is a regime ad, isn't it? This is a Trump regime ad, right? And lo and behold, this ugly woman, the Secretary of Defense or whatever, horrible woman, come up and start talking. I mute this thing because you couldn't fast forward, so I mute it. So I have no idea what she said, but I know where she was going with it. I know what I had an idea of what she was saying. You know, and it made me feel it made me feel so sad because I'm like, I wonder how many people would watch this stuff and take
And
it
believe
all
it,
in and believe
believe
it,
it, can't, I
and
can't
not
do
realize that what you are seeing is the
it.
beginning stages of
It,
the ugliest part of history that has ever taken place in human history. Like, you are seeing the beginning stages of excuses for concentration camps, like in a bigger way. You're seeing the
it,
beginning stages of a horrible history. And so
it's
anyway, I
terrible.
felt the heaviness of it. I felt the heaviness of it, and I wake up feeling it. And my whole point is, because we're not even going into that in a big way, but my whole point is that it's harder to ignore, you know, and we shouldn't ignore, right? Because if we don't stop it, we're not gonna like where we end up. We're not gonna like where it's going. And the thing that gives me hope is that I don't only see that. I don't only see that. I see us like you said, a lot of people waking up, and us starting to realize our power and reclaim our power and
Yeah,
reclaim our joy and
right.
and become the people that we was always supposed to be become,
Yeah.
and I know that
That's
it's not
why I
only me
did
and
that
you.
song.
I
That's why,
know it's not only happening to me and you. It's happening to
yeah,
a lot of
a
people.
lot of
And
people,
and and I knew
a
logically, I
lot.
knew in my heart, right, that what I was watching is desperate people trying to convince stupid people, you
Yeah,
know, that what they're doing is right. They're
you could
lying, right?
actually
They're
hear the
lying and
line.
gaslighting. But I hoped in my heart, I said I hope that there's more of us and we are stronger than we think. And there's more of us than the stupid people, you
That's
know?
why, that's why I do what I do on this TikTok app. I said TikTok, but TikTok app because, and that's why you probably didn't see it, but before I even started the dance, I made a 2 minute um, short comment of why I started dancing on the app. And
Yeah.
I was talking to the people and I told them it's because I'm not going to go into it because you could watch it or listen to it,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
it's because for 8 years, because I came here, somebody asked me to marry them 3 times before I actually said yes.
Mhm.
And then um, I stopped doing a lot of things I used to do
Mhm.
and that I love to do and I want to do because what you
Yeah.
do is they end up being your whole world then.
Yeah.
And you put yourself on the back burner. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I ended off by saying that the reason I give them that little testimony is because I want y'all to know don't ever change for anybody.
Yeah.
You understand? Because it's
Yeah.
not doing anybody any good because you're going to be miserable. You're going to
Yeah.
be unhappy. And it's not doing anybody any good. So don't change
And what's even better,
to suit anybody. Do what makes you happy. Do
and what's even better is to get to know yourself, to know who you are,
and you got to
so
know
that
what you
you,
have.
yeah, know who you are, so that it's easier not to change when you know who you are,
Yeah. But
So
the thing
that's
about
why I
it,
feel a lot of hope too, because I really do feel that a lot of people are starting to realize who they are. They remember
they're
it. And I
waking up
always
to
say
who they are.
it reminds me of Lion King, when the Mufasa was he had passed away, so he was talking to Simba, and he was in the sky in the clouds, and he said, "Remember who you are," you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because again, I guess is a similar circumstances where he's being gaslighted by the bad people to think that he thought that he was responsible for his father's death,
Yeah.
and he thought that he couldn't claim his kingdom
Yeah.
and claim his seat in power because
Yeah.
he thought that he didn't deserve it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's what they do. They gaslight us into thinking that we don't deserve the nice things,
And
that
I
we got
used to
begged
feel
for these
that way.
scraps. We should be thankful for these scraps. You know what I mean?
And
And
I
a lot of
used to
people,
feel that way.
and a,
You
and
know.
a lot of people starting to realize that that's not true. A lot of people are
Yeah.
not falling for it. That's why they got advertised. You know,
Yeah.
we still got idiots falling for it, but a lot of people remembering who they are, and that's why, for me, again, I started to realize, like, I didn't think that I deserved to look nice. I don't know why. I just didn't feel like, because I struggle with anxiety so badly. I was like, how could somebody that struggle with anxiety, frightened to walk around with their head held high, even dare to wear colors or wear something to stand out or wear something, you know. I didn't feel like I deserved to look nice because I felt like I carried too much weight,
But I can
I
give, yeah, true. That's true. I can give you a funny story of when you were younger.
mm,
I don't know if you remember this,
mm,
but you used to, any of my children that did that, I did the same thing. But you
mm,
used to walk and like got your shoulders slumped over and you used to say, and every time you pass by me walking like
mm,
that, I used to hit you in your back and make you straighten
mm,
up your back and straighten up your shoulders. And,
mm.
because my mom did that to me.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
mom
yeah,
was into etiquette. She
yeah,
was into etiquette in a serious way because she
yeah,
wanted her children
yeah.
to be ladies wherever they went.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? If you walk and because I would tell you too. I don't even know if you remember, but I
Yeah,
would sometimes tell you too that if you keep slumping in the back like that, your spine gonna stay that way. And
I
then,
hear like trying to do the same thing for my daughter. Talk to remind her to not slouch, and to strengthen your spine. Walk
exactly
walk upright, strengthen your spine, because that's not a good practice. Like, be like walking and
5:55.
slouching like that. Mm?
No,
Yeah,
no, your
yeah. So,
video just dropped.
oh, it did. You
Yeah,
any better?
no, 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 no. I mean one of your videos from
Oh.
YouTube.
I thought you meant that. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, talk to me. Oh, you mean that you got a notification just now?
Yeah, I got a
Oh, okay,
notification,
okay, okay.
and I know
I
it was
got you.
supposed to drop at 5:55.
Yeah,
So
I
that
got
when,
some. I got some like stuff
but anyway,
scheduled.
so
So
what's the next thing?
let me talk about the next thing. So the next thing here is facial oil, rose oil. Right? This is facial oil, or is just
Yeah,
any kind of oil for any purpose?
what does the label have on?
Rose oil.
Oh, that is. Oh, I brought you the rose oil. I thought that I
Mm.
I thought I could pick up the facial oil.
Okay, so
But
this is for any purpose.
for your face.
I can use
It's
it for
your
my
facial,
face. Right.
yeah, facial
So
rose oil. But
yeah.
what the difference between the rose oil and the facial oil is just different ingredients. That's all.
Okay.
You know,
Okay. So
and that
what
base,
was in the
that
facial oil
rose
that's not
oil,
in this?
that rose oil is the base oil for that is rose oil is the
Mm,
base oil. But then I would put um some rose hip
mm.
essential oil and different oils in there, lavender, different oils in there
Oh my gosh, it's pretty.
and then it has the rose petals in it. So
Yeah.
basically it's a facial oil too. But the facial oil, what
Yeah.
happened?
No, nothing's be laughing at myself trying to find the right place to put
Oh
the thing.
yeah, so that is I thought I had two of them in there, so I thought I picked up the facial oil, but it doesn't
Mm.
matter. The
All
rose
right,
oil
so
is good too, but how does
I
it feel? How does it feel?
should I put
And
it
it
on my
has
face?
rose essential oil in
Oh,
it.
oh, it feels so oily. It just feels lovely.
It
And
feels it feels soft.
of course, soft and gentle.
So just
And I'm
remember,
going to use your oil with saving. Wanted to do this video. I just
yeah,
saw, I learned something about this this well, you know what it's for, but I didn't
yeah,
know this
to
technique right now,
rose,
but
yeah,
you use it on your face and stuff like that. But I learned that the technique is called Gua Sha. I saw, and there's
okay,
people that have little tutorials that teach you how to do it, like the right way to use it.
yeah,
And
because
they said that you need oil for moisture. You can't just do it on your dry face. You need oil. And I was waiting for your oil so that when I do that video, I will use your oil. It's
yeah,
called Gua
because
Sha.
what
Gua
happens
Sha.
too,
Mhm.
you're still young, but what
Mhm.
happens, but you're not gonna stay young.
No, I
Um,
definitely not staying young.
exactly. So what happens with our faces
Mhm.
is that it starts to
The sag.
gravity
Yeah.
pulls it down.
Yeah.
So it starts to side down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the when I put on the oil like before I go to sleep, some days I
Mhm.
forget to put it on, but when I put it on, I would rub my face up
Mhm.
and like here because I squint a lot
Yeah.
because the sun bothers my eyes. I squint a lot. These things here is called squint lines, but
Yeah.
that is what that day is for.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
that is to keep like
Yeah.
you from
And
getting
I
the
am only 42, so I can add on some years if I do it right, right? You
yeah
know?
yeah yeah. Well, I only started a few years ago to really take care of myself, learn
Yeah.
how to take care of myself too. So,
Mhm.
so that's why I tell people all the time start from young. Because when you
Mhm.
start from young, that's why a lot of people now at 70, I know mama was 65 and I thought mama was old.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
mama retired at 65. And a lot of people now at 70 something and all kinds of stuff look so young.
Yeah,
I'm
because
saying, oh my
you
gosh,
know, we have the availability, we have the knowledge and
because
the availability of the right items and the right things
and the
to
most I give us
really take care of
everything.
ourselves, to really take care of ourselves. And the one thing that I wish that I had saved was my teeth before I started to move out of place. So now I have to talk
But
to a dentist and see what I can do about that.
yeah, because I was watching it for a while.
They look healthy, but I don't know about it moving out of place. I don't
No,
know if
I
I could.
was watching it for a while,
Mm,
and I was wondering, and I knew it was that you had. But one day I went there because I do things in subtle ways to see if people would tell me something.
mm,
And one day I remember say ask you, so how your teeth going? You tell me,
yeah.
oh,
You
they're
see,
all
but
right.
sometimes you don't know what you don't know. That's
Exactly.
why, why we say to people that watching us, is sometimes just saying the thing because you will be surprised. People don't know what to ask when they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. The only time that I realized that I had issues with my teeth is when it got so bad that I lost a few teeth in the back because it moved out of place and it hurt for a while, but then it stopped hurting, but it was in the way because it moved out of place. And I had to get really, my teeth had to get bad for me to know what I didn't know, for me to do the things I needed to do. And
And
also bear in mind when you wonder why people take so long to do this, like go to the dentist or go to the doctor, think about it this way. Family, big family, money, you know, time just flies really
the
fast,
thing about
you
it
know.
is that
So sometimes you put
you have
off
a
things.
mom.
Mm?
You have a mom
But
that
again, you
deals
don't know what you
what
don't
you don't
know,
know. I get
you
you.
know.
And that's why what I do, even at work, what I do, I listen to people.
Yeah.
Or I
That
watch people and I see them limping slightly or something. It's what happened. You put in whatever.
mm.
And then I
Because
listen
sometimes
to
people has been waiting for somebody to come and ask. Remember how you just told me I really wanted somebody to ask me about my hair. You know what I mean? Sometimes people has been waiting for the
about
right
your,
person to
oh, yeah,
some people has been waiting for the right person to ask the right questions, because we don't know what we don't know. Sometimes we gotta have somebody tell us, you
yeah,
know
because I
we have
just,
to have somebody say, to make us think of something in a different way that we weren't thinking before.
yeah, because
So that's again too. Just let me pause a second and say we're gonna have chapters in the description because this video is gonna be long. This recording is gonna be long, and I am gonna let it go how it's gonna go because I feel like there's a lot of good knowledge to be picked up here, and they might have something for somebody that they might hear the right thing, be inspired in some way, hear the right word, think about something they didn't think about before. So we just gotta let it flow how it flows. So the kid there's going this is going to be divided into chapters so that you could watch it in parts. And also remember to subscribe to our channels if you're not a subscriber. Um,
yeah,
so since we're
and,
talking about teeth,
yeah, and
oh,
but that's a me just say this thing like too. I get what you're saying because like the girl, there's one of the girls that work with me. She
mm,
was talking to me and she was telling me the amount of money that she gotta get her teeth fixed, the amount of
mm,
money because she also has
yeah.
gingivitis and
And we
her
got so many
teeth,
kids, and
her
us for
teeth are
our
moving,
yeah.
moving like they're moving off of the gums and all that.
Yeah,
And
I
you
put
know,
off myself so long for so many reasons because there's so many of us and you feel like you don't want to be a burden, you know?
yeah, I
And then
understand.
sometimes you wait till they get bad before you go do something, you
But that's the
know?
point I'm making. What
Mm,
like all I can't because she's already clean, so I can't do anything about that because I'm not a dentist or anything. But what I told
mm,
her there's a way that you could control that and you can stop
mm,
that. And I
mm,
took because somebody sent a big bag of neem for me. It came from
mm,
Barbados.
Yeah.
And they sent this big bag for me. So I still have, I made some different things, but I still have some left there. So I told her I'm gonna bring some neem for you. She said, "What? What's that?" But I said I'm gonna bring it for you, and what you gonna do is you steep it in a tea,
Mm.
right? You
Mm.
steep it in a tea, and then
Mm.
let it cool, and
Wow.
then just use it as a mouthwash or something like that.
Wow.
And that is going to help your teeth. Is going to help your gums. But
Yeah. So,
one
yeah.
thing I said to her, but it is very bitter. So
Mm.
I hope that you'll be able to handle the bitterness. But
Yeah.
bitter is better,
Yeah. So my teeth look a lot healthier, but my problem is that it's too late in terms of the tooth that move out of
the
position. So I don't
shifted
know what's gonna
part
happen there.
already shift. But
Yeah.
the good thing about it is that it has shifted,
Mm.
but it has shifted, but it's not going to shift anymore.
Yeah. I
That's the good thing about
at
it
some
because
point I gonna find out
you would
if
have
there's anything
actually
that could.
you
Yeah.
would have actually lost it or something. So you might be able to.
It's hard to imagine at 40 at 42 that man I put myself in this position with my teeth. Wow. But anyway, the teeth look good. They look healthy. I
Yeah,
taking care of them better.
which
Uh,
is good.
but my
So
tooth out
what's
of
the next
place. And that's
item?
a good segue to this one. This is tooth powder. This is the third or fourth tooth powder that you made for
Mostly
me.
that is to powder. I also don't have a label for that because
Hmm. Do you
um
remember what in it?
that's a public thing. Yeah. Okay, I have what I have in there is baking soda. It has
Hmm.
bentonite clay.
Hmm.
It has I put like some arrowroot starch in it because
Hmm.
the bentonite clay and the baking soda is a harsh thing. So you
Hmm.
need something to cut down that harshness. So it has
Hmm.
arrowroot
Hmm.
um, arrowroot powder in it, and then
Hmm.
it has the what else does it have? It has the neem in there. Then I use peppermint oil for the minty flavor.
Hmm.
And what else do I have in there? I don't put that much things in my two powder. Basically,
Yeah.
that is the core things of the two powder is the baking soda. Baking soda is very good because too it is alkali. It helps you. Oh, I'm missing the most important things. Then
Oh, smell like toothpaste. Hmm.
I have calcium powder in there,
Hmm.
and I have
Hmm.
calcium. Let me get it.
Hmm.
I have I have I don't have this is the calcium citrate, but I didn't put the calcium citrate in it. I put the
Hmm.
calcium. So the calcium is good for uh, so
Did you ever do a? Yeah.
this is the calcium.
Yeah.
I put the calcium carbonate in it. Huh?
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna ask. Did you ever do a video to teach about
The food powder?
powder? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I haven't done that yet.
So this is
Because
like powder. Look,
I basically used to do that for
you say
me.
have a name. This one got a name or no?
Yeah, I got a name,
Okay. So question: when did you
and it
decide to
has
make your?
magnesium citrate.
Oh, that's cool.
So it has
When
the magnesium.
How you learn about what to put in tooth powder, and when did you decide to make a tooth powder? Like, how did that
Oh,
happen?
there's a lot of so I started making my tooth powder probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm, yeah.
Probably 3 or 4 years ago because I learned a long time ago that the toothpaste that we were using is not that great for our teeth because the
Mm,
fluoride in the
mm,
toothpaste is not that great for our teeth.
mm,
So because I always struggled with my teeth, just like you
mm.
always struggle with my teeth,
Yeah.
because if I knew a lot of what I knew now, I would not lose a lot of
Yeah.
teeth I lost. But um,
Same.
right, yeah. So
Mm,
so that's why I don't really blame you. But as I always say, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. And as you
yeah.
said, just no, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find out a better way.
Mm,
I wanted to find out a better way of um, caring for my teeth than
mm,
using the thing.
mm,
So I heard people talk about tooth powder.
mm.
And so I said, well, I wanna see how to make this tooth powder.
Yeah.
So years ago, probably about, as I said, 3 or 4 years ago, I watched,
Mm,
and I like her channel because she's raw, she's rough, she's thick, and she's Heidi, Heidi from Rain County.
mm,
Her channel is called Rain County.
mm,
So I, I looked up on the internet about the tooth powder,
mm.
and I came across her channel because I just
Yeah.
looked, you go through and you look and you say, "Ah, you know what, I think I
Yeah.
can look at her." And
Mm,
so she made her tooth powder similar to this
mm,
or like this, but she put in, like other people put in other stuff. So I
mm.
used her as a base. And
Right.
then, I add the name because some people add name too. But I add the name because I realized what the name was good for and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Even before I see a lot of people adding name. Because, sometimes you do stuff like I didn't even realize that I had so much channels on TikTok doing the people doing dancing. Till I
Yeah.
started dancing and then I see
Right.
all of these things,
Right. 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 I
you know.
got you.
But so
Right.
that's the point that I make it. And I didn't know start to do it, but I just used to do it for me
Mm,
because my determination was, because after my divorce, I um I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't go to the dentist for quite a number of years, right?
yeah.
And then I decided that, I could go to the dentist. I had to check my teeth and thing, and
Mm,
then they had a lot of they had a lot of plaque and
mm.
all kinds of stuff like that she had to be digging just to
Oh
clean it.
wow.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so what I did was,
Mm,
she was that they were telling me, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. So I said I was determined that I wasn't going to get those things done. So
yeah.
so I stopped using toothpaste altogether, and I started using just my tooth powder.
Yeah.
And then this month later, when I went back to to her, she said, um, she said, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is you're doing, keep it up because you seem
Yeah.
to be flossing, you
Yeah.
seem to be doing that.
Yeah.
So I smiled to myself because I
Yeah.
said, you know, I just smiled because I
Yeah.
wasn't even putting the name in it yet. I just
Yeah.
did the basic one.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So that was where that journey came from.
Yeah,
So
so like yeah, like for me too, like when I went to the dentist, other than what he said that I had, which was the gum disease, that needed to be dealt with, he said my teeth was pretty easy gum. My teeth was healthy, and that um I didn't have any cavities or anything, because you had already started to give me. Not only did you give me the tooth powder, but you also introduced me to a specific toothpaste and a specific products from, um,
Guru Nanda,
yeah, what was it
Guru
called?
Nanda.
Yeah, Guru Nanda. He's from India.
I'm not sure if he's an Indian, but I think he's
Mm,
in America,
mm,
but I don't know. But anyway, I saw it on the TikTok shop, but
yeah.
I
And you
wanted something natural.
Yeah,
I
so you had
wanted
gotten me, so along with the tooth powder that you had gotten me, I was using that toothpaste. I was using the mouthwash from that, because you bought me that toothpaste. You bought me the mouthwash, two different types of mouthwash, like a
this, I
mouthwash and
don't
a
remember.
oil, like a
But
oil
you see
pulling,
the things.
thing that's oil, like a
Oh
oily
yeah, yeah, the
like,
coconut oil.
and
Oh,
then
there's another thing that I was doing, but I was using the regular coconut oil because I buy the coconut oil
yeah,
in the big gallon containers.
yeah,
So I would just take out a teaspoonful and put it
mm,
in my mouth and swish it around because it takes the toxins out of your tongue and your body and toxins out of your
mm,
body. Okay.
yeah. So yes, I was using that. I started buying my own too. When I finished the one that you gave me, because you gave me two. You gave me one, and then when the other one ran out, you gave me another one. So you purchased my first two, and I purchased my own recently because I
Um,
decided that I wanted to continue using it.
yeah,
You know,
because it feels
and
different, doesn't it?
yeah, and I use the toothbrush from that set as well, from that company as well, and it's selling in Walmart now. And I bought my toothpaste from Walmart. My first purchase of that, because like I said, you bought me my first two. So this is my third time using that toothpaste, because like when you start to do something a certain way, you can't go back to the basics and
You
the
feel,
ordinary
yeah,
anymore,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And
And that's
sometimes what I wish as a mom is that I could also not have to buy the cheapest thing, so I could, so that my kids could just have the thing,
what,
but to
what
buy
you
the
see.
best quality thing, you know
Yeah, but what you
and
see, what you have to do is you have to start children from young. Because
mm,
when you start them from young,
mm.
when they get older, they're not going to know any different because
Yeah,
you
but
already started
but
them
what
with that.
yeah,
Like suppose you decide to put them on the tooth powder, they can interchange with the
yeah,
regular toothpaste, right?
yeah,
Because you know can't get children to use tooth powder on the
that's gonna be a tricky one, because they're young, some of them young, and they share in a
that's
bathroom,
that's the
you
point
know
I'm making, right?
yeah, so
So no, no,
yeah.
no. That was just an example.
But yeah, I agree with you. The issue is never the getting them into a new habit. The issue is the money that you
Exactly.
need to purchase a better thing, That's always the issue. And that's why I've been saying in my videos, or I started recently saying, that I have come to the point where I am very, very tired of lack and limitation. I don't want to hear that no. I don't want to hear that anymore. Lack and limitation. I want to set my mind on the fact that I can get. the best of what is, what I deserve. I deserve good things. I deserve nice things,
Exactly.
and my kids do too. It started with me
Exactly.
first. I started with me first to learn how to set my mind to attract good things, but I hope that that
Exactly.
spreads and expands to my family. You know, where we as a family, we already got nice
Exactly.
things in terms of happiness and joy, and we enjoy nice things, but
Yeah.
I would like us to
Exactly.
have
But
I would like us to have
that's
nice
what I'm
health
telling you.
related things.
That's what I'm telling you. That when I when I I started on the two powder like 3 or 4 years ago. And when I first started, it was just like the basic two powder,
Yeah,
but I just knew that I did not want to go back to.
yeah,
So I haven't bought toothpaste from the supermarket in quite a number of years.
yeah,
Um, until this man grew Nanda started. He only started what, maybe 2 years ago
mm,
or something like that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
he was basically only on TikTok shop. And I was very impressed that he had neem and different things in it too.
mm.
So I said, you know, he has neem in
and
his
and, and my,
individual.
my teeth is feel clean. It feel like it does a good job. You could tell, you just feel it.
Yeah,
The teeth is
because
feel
you
clean.
do everything. Basically, you do the oil pulling.
Mm,
The oil pulling, what the oil pulling does, it doesn't only thing, but it helps with bad breath because
mm,
because our tongue is where the toxins lie.
mm,
That is what
mm.
causes a lot of bad breath.
Yeah,
And and that's basically what the oil pulling does. It takes away a lot of that bacteria from
mm,
your tongue and your teeth. It just does a great job. And then when you finish your oil pulling, you just have to remember one thing: never spit it in the sink. I don't even think
yeah, because they're oily. But what do you mean? Where do you spit it?
in the garbage
You do? Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Why don't you spit it in the sink?
because it is coconut oil is oil.
Mm,
And well, the thing about it is because his is fractionated coconut oil,
mm,
right?
mm,
It's not gonna clog up it won't clog up the sink that much because
mm,
it's already fractionated. But like
mm.
suppose it was the regular coconut oil, like how I used to use the
Okay.
regular coconut oil,
Okay.
that
Oh,
becomes solid.
okay, got you.
That
Okay, but
becomes
but with his oil, I could spit it in the sink.
but I wouldn't spit it in the sink either. I would
Mm,
just spit it in the garbage. Why spit it in the sink? But his is not really a thing because it's fractionated anyway. But
mm,
oils, you still don't
yeah.
want to spit them in the sink. But
Okay, but
anyway,
I was
it's
okay.
not
I
gonna
hear you.
do. It's not
I
if
try to
you
spit it directly in the drain and not in the sink because it's so oily.
the
But that's
oil,
something different. I never thought of it that way. Okay.
yeah.
I would
But
try to spit directly in the hole because it's
okay.
oily. But
But
okay.
anyway,
So that's
but
something to
anyway,
bear in mind.
but
So
I
just two more.
two more.
Yeah, just two more
I give you
products.
so much things.
Yeah. So this
Oh,
here is Magnesium Oil Spray. I find this here to be very fascinating. Tell me about this one. One of the things I know is that I
did you
recently
smell
learned
it?
within the last few years of is that we need magnesium. Magnesium is an important is a mineral, right?
Yeah, magnesium, because
Is an
magnesium is
important
a thing that
mineral for our body. you
Yeah,
know?
we don't get enough magnesium and all that from our foods.
Yeah.
We need magnesium in our diet.
I
And
find it
the
very,
best
I'm
way
excited to use this. So
the
this is
best way
magnesium
to
oil
get
spray.
huh?
So so this is magnesium oil spray. So tell me about this idea and how often you use it, like how you will use it and all that. And
Well,
why you would use it.
why okay, well, I used to get cramps a lot.
Mm,
And naturally when you suffer, well, me, I don't know about other people, but when you're suffering
mm,
with something, you go to the internet and you try
mm,
to see what is good for this thing. You know what
mm,
I mean?
mm,
So, so they said that magnesium
mm,
is a lack of magnesium and all that in your diet,
mm,
and um, and because of my age,
mm,
like calcium and the same, there's magnesium thing. The
mm,
calcium and the same magnesium, they don't stay
mm,
in our bodies like how they would stay in a younger person's body.
mm,
So what used to happen to me, like every time I go to sleep, and this caused too because I do a lot of walking. In my job, I do a lot of walking.
yeah.
So when you come home and you take a shower and all that, and your feet are relaxing, the
Mm,
muscles start to seize up and tense up,
yeah.
and that is what is called cramp, and it really hurts because
Mm,
sometimes it just throw you off of the bed because it is so painful.
all right.
So I used to suffer with it a lot, and I did research. I said, what is good for this thing? I need to, and that's what I do all the time. I go to
Mm,
the internet to find out if I have an ailment. I go to the internet to find out what herb is good for that ailment.
yeah.
So they said magnesium, a magnesium oil,
Mm,
magnesium spray is good because when you
mm.
take the magnesium internally,
All right. So what made you decide to do it in like this oil spray?
because the spray they because in the research that I was doing and stuff like that, they said that
Mm,
the when you take it internally, it is not as good as when you spray it on,
mm, mm,
right?
mm,
So what you can spray, just you don't even have to like spray all over your skin or anything. You could spray on if your arm and it goes
wow.
into the human
Yeah.
body got certain part
Yeah.
like pressure part
Yeah.
that are good for it to
So
take
how would you use it?
underneath my feet.
Uh-huh.
I spray on my feet.
Uh-huh.
So before I go to bed, because
Mm,
everything, every if you look at, I got a book there called The Human Body, and if you look
mm,
at the human body,
mm.
everything is connected to the feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because everything is connected to the feet,
Yeah.
you can spray it to the bottom of your feet, and it can go everywhere. Then I will spray underneath my arm.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can spray on your. Some people spray. I see people spray on the. Um, I did a video. I have a video up there with it. No,
Mm-hmm.
I have a video up there with it showing you
Mm.
um where you spray and stuff like that.
Oh, really? I didn't see that
I
one.
have a
Okay.
video up there teaching how I made it because
Yeah.
all it is distilled water and magnesium flakes.
Mm.
Not this,
Yeah.
but this. Let me show you.
Wow.
magnesium. So these are
Yeah. Where do you get all that stuff from?
um, Amazon. You know,
Okay.
some things I buy from the people, but Amazon basically.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
so so it's a 50 ratio, or
Mm.
you could make a 60-40 ratio to distill
Mm.
water. And you always
Mm.
have to use distilled water in any product or anything that you're making that needs water. You have to use distilled water.
Mhm.
You cannot use, you know, some people sometimes use boiled water too, but I buy
Mhm.
the distilled water because with the distilled water, that is the water's purest form. So
Mhm.
the bacteria is not going to get bacteria as fast as
Mm.
regular water.
Okay. All right. So we do the last one, and then we start to wrap up. My kids actually
Okay.
started to knock on the door because they want to do family TV time. So I can definitely divide this into two parts because it went on long. Mm?
How long we were on?
2 hours and 20 minutes. About 2 hours and 20 minutes we've been doing this.
Um,
So this here are some capsules. You just recently up your ante and start making capsules. Now you up your game and started making capsules.
Yeah, I
Okay,
tell
you
you that
badass lady.
I just get
Mm,
up one morning and decide, you know what? I go start making my own capsules because I
I
can be
mean
big,
that
I
just
can be
amazes
really
me.
big.
Wow. I said that just amazes me. Wow. And these are
Yeah,
such good capsules too. Like Moringa. Let me see if I can find that camera. Moringa, beet, camera, beet, and turmeric.
yeah.
So, one of the things I know
It's
about
a
beet
thing
is
I'm
that
gonna,
beet is good for high blood pressure. So I would like to make these. We can do a capsule video, you and I. Make
yeah,
these for my husband because he has high blood pressure. I've
yeah,
heard about moringa, how good it is for the body. You
yeah,
know,
because it
you
said
did
it's
you
the
do a
medical.
video on moringa?
Yeah, I did a video on Moringa is up there and Sweet Honey's Naturals.
Mm-hmm. And I heard about moringa. I hear that that's a super stuffed. You could
Super
take.
food.
Can you tell me briefly, like real quick, like what was moringa good for?
You sure you want me to?
Or you can't tell me
Listen,
real quick.
yeah, because there's a lot of things. So let's put it this way.
Mm,
They call it the miracle tree. That's what
mm-hmm,
they call it, right? And they call it
mm,
that because Moringa has in 92 of the vitamins and minerals out of the 102 vitamins and minerals that we need
mm-hmm,
in our diet daily. Moringa has 92 of those. So, and the thing that I loved about it is
mm-hmm,
when you, and this might be a little embarrassing thing, but
mm-hmm,
when you are going through menopause and all of that, and
mm-hmm,
the same thing that I told you about the magnesium, all those things,
mm-hmm,
you suffer with constipation a lot. And
mm-hmm.
you suffer with constipation because your body is not working the same way how it used to work when you were
Yeah,
younger. Because you're
right.
not retaining a lot of the vitamins and different things that you need,
Mm-hmm,
like magnesium and different things that you need to retain in your body. So
mm-hmm,
what happens is that the moringa, because it has in all of those things, it
mm-hmm,
keeps you regular.
mm-hmm. Oh wow.
You don't have to worry about going to the bathroom when you
Mm-hmm,
use the moringa. And
mm-hmm,
another capsule I want to add to that because you know I think I have it in a tincture. I think I mix it with the beetroot,
mm-hmm,
spirulina, and beetroot. I think I have that video up there that I did years ago.
Mm.
But I will make spirulina too because spirulina
Mm.
is an algae
I
and
never
it's
even heard of
very
that
good.
one though. I didn't even know what that one is.
Oh,
But I
we
learning
can talk
from you.
about that
You
another
learning,
time.
yeah, you learning so that I can learn. And again, turmeric. You want to say quickly what turmeric good for?
Well, turmeric is good for
Mm.
inflammation in your body. And what this
Yeah.
is why I tell everybody, all the itis, like
Mm.
arthritis,
Mm.
bursitis, all the
Mm.
different itis
Mm.
is inflammation. So
Mm.
when you have things in your body, is information that is in your body.
Mm.
And turmeric is good for inflammation, but to help the turmeric work
Mm.
effectively, because that I have in a capsule
Mm.
is the same mixture that I mix for the golden milk, which is the turmeric milk, right?
Yeah.
And I have a video up there how you make the golden milk.
Yeah.
So it's good for the inflammation in your body. So suppose you are suffering with different aches and pains and all of that,
Mm.
there, so turmeric
Mm.
helps with that because of the inflammation. But
Yeah.
to help the turmeric
Inflammation. Inflammation. She is saying
inflammation,
inflammation, not information.
I know. But
No, I
anyway,
telling anybody that might think you're saying information. She is saying
inflammation.
inflammation.
Yeah,
Right.
so but anyway, so let me tell you this
Yeah.
quickly because I need to tell you this part.
Mm-hmm.
But to help the turmeric to work effectively,
Mm-hmm.
you have it has something in it called curcumin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the turmeric has in the
Mm-hmm.
curcumin, and then it needs the purpurin.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pronounce these words, but the purpurin in black pepper
Mm-hmm.
to help it to work to get into the joints
Mm-hmm.
and the bloodstream and the everything the way it should. The two of
Mm-hmm.
those things have to work together.
So in those
So,
capsules, you have black pepper and turmeric.
so they have black bell, but along with the black pepper, I also put some cayenne pepper and I put some garlic.
Mm-hmm. In the
Um, and
turmeric one.
any turmeric one, I put
Mhm.
garlic and I put the
You got
but
any
no, obviously the main star of the show is the turmeric.
turmeric? So
So
you got any like capsule making videos yet?
oh no, I because I only
Okay.
just started doing those like a few
All
months
right.
ago. So I
Yeah.
didn't put any up there yet.
Okay, so let's wrap up. We never intended for the recording to be this long,
Yeah,
but I'm glad it did. It is what it is. I'm glad it is what it is. We'll divide it in two because it's a very informative video, and it went really well. Barely needs editing. So, remember to subscribe to our channels. Sweet Annie's Natural, Sweet Annie's Face, Sweet Annie's Kitchen, and my channel is the my channel is Tish Era INFJ, and the title of it really is Letitia Learns Life, where I talk about all the different things that I am learning as a 40-year-old, 42-year-old millennial, mom of 5 children. And we in an interesting timeline, so it's an interesting time to be alive. I'm getting to know myself and love myself in a bigger way than I ever have, at a time where everything around me seems to be falling apart and going on fire, and everything that I learn about what is right and what is good is not the loudest thing right now. The loudest thing is the opposite of all the good stuff that I learned about being a good human. So I'm learning how to deal with that as an empath, and navigate the world where it's like minefields everywhere, dark minefields and ugliness and darkness and all that kind of stuff. And how I'm learning how to be a light worker and be a light in a time of darkness. And my mom is learning how to become a healer, you know, and step into her divine feminine role as a woman in her 60s. She's dancing, and enjoying life again, and really starting to love herself also in a way that we've never before, that we haven't ever, you know. And it's just fascinating that that is happening at a time, like I said, where all the other ugly stuff happening, where the worst of humanity is the loudest thing, you know. So you have to really look for the stars.
Yeah.
You have to look for the stars.
And one thing I want to say quickly before we go to is
Mm,
I am not a medical doctor or anything like that. And this
mm,
is just a disclaimer,
yeah,
right? Because I don't want this channel to get thing. I'm not a medical doctor, and anything that we said today in this video was strictly for informational purposes
mm,
only, and how I deal with the stuff
yeah,
that I deal with. I'm not
yeah.
telling you not to listen to your doctor or anything like that.
Yeah, we're not advising y'all to not listen to your doctor, like my mom says. Just teaching you a little bit of prevention, and maybe like how to care
Exactly.
for ourselves so that we don't need the doctor as much. Well, for the major
Exactly.
emergencies, you know, you gotta go get your checkup. But for the major
Exactly.
emergencies, you know, um,
Exactly.
if we could prevent things, that would be wonderful, you
That's
know.
what I said. It's better
Or
not
if we
to
could
be
slow
reactive.
things down, or you know, start to heal naturally in some areas, that would be wonderful. So
Right?
you
And,
know,
and,
like I
and,
said.
and the turmeric capsule is awesome for that. Um,
Mm,
and if you could do the golden milk, which is the turmeric tea, that is awesome for that because it is for any kind of inflammation that you
mm,
have in your body. So
yeah.
that would be a good thing. And the moringa. So that is why there's the two capsules that we started on. We made lion's mane capsules too.
Oh yeah, I like lion's mane. That's good for focus, and you know, alertness and focus, and
And for the brain and all
good for
that.
brain health, good for brain stuff, you know.
Exactly.
So more to
So
come. Yeah. So
so
yeah.
we are definitely going to, because Letitia and I has to make some capsules, so we can
Mm,
definitely put a video up there of how
yeah.
we make our capsules.
So yeah, there's
Yeah.
gonna be more to come, and chapters in the description so that you could watch it in, you know, if you don't have the time, you can watch it in parts. And you know, like I said, remember to subscribe and like and share and comment and do all
Do
the
all the
things that
good
would
stuff.
assist us in our YouTube growth. And you know how it is. Like, we are new to what we are doing, okay? But we are growing and we are learning, and we intend to do good things. We intend to make the world a better place in whatever way we can, and to be a light. And you know, one of these days when I get my first 100 subscribers on my channel, we will start to do lives, and I look forward to that day. You know,
And the thing
I look
about
forward to
it
that day.
is, and the thing about it, Letitia, is I remember when I got that first 100 subscribers, I celebrated so much. I did a actual video um, for my 100 subscribers because it was such an exciting thing because it is so hard to get
Yeah,
to 100
yeah,
subscribers. And then when you get to 500 subscribers, you celebrate it again.
yeah. Because
Then when I
you
got
have
to
to work
1,000
really hard for
subscribers,
all these subscribers. To
huh,
build up a YouTube channel is not an easy thing.
is not an easy thing at
It's
all.
not an easy thing. It takes a
Especially
lot of hard work.
especially when they have such great channels out there now. Before
Yeah, there's so many options.
it
You
would have
know, this
been
is why I say you gotta be yourself, because you gotta find the audience that appeal to you. You know, I mean that
exactly
that you appeal to, I should say. And you know, and you gotta love it. You gotta love it because you cannot get your value, your validation from other people. You gotta see the beauty in what you do and how you have grown. And it takes a lot, to me, it takes a lot of mental, spiritual health and strength. You have to develop that mental, spiritual health so that you could be like, you understand what's happening. You understand, you don't have the amount of likes and what your analytics say define or validate what you have to say, what your purpose, what you feel called to do, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I we wanna thank everybody for joining us tonight, and I hope that we can do this soon again because I found that was very good and it was
Mm.
very informative. So I hope that a
We
lot
will
of
do it
people out
again.
there will be able to gain from something that we would have said because it was from two different perspectives.
Mm.
So
And
this
I
is
feel
always a
so
blessing.
soft and I smell so good. I smell
Well,
yummy. I feel so
this
soft and
part,
smell so good.
the oils,
Mhm.
God, you was
Yeah.
putting on everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,